Hello, welcome to Real Healing Methods Spiritual Academy. Get Real with Judy Jewett. I am your host, and we have today our regular guest, Kathy. Hello, Kathy. How are you?
Good morning, Judy. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. What makes it so unique with Kathy is she is on her spiritual path of awakening. And she has also communicated for years and years with her angels, not quite maybe understanding it all and God and getting these messages, but she has grown and she has opened up. And so that is what the true awakening is. Right now, we see there's a lot of things that go on in the world that is, that's a whole other, but that's part of awakening, but not the spiritual awakening. And so with that, so Kathy is a guest, and she's so wonderful with her experiences and stories. And we're hoping between the two of us that there'll be things that we'll say that maybe that's where you are or you want to know more. And please write if you would like to be a guest, because that is how we can help more people. Okay, with that, let's begin. So Kathy and I, for the last 30 minutes, before we started recording, we've been chit-chatting about everything, talking about relationships. Our generation, you grow up, get married. I mean, we both have had training or college or whatever past high school, but then you get married and the man takes care of you and you take care of him and you share everything, and then years go on and life has changed. That's in our generation, that's not really the way it is anymore. If you're in a new relationship, and we've talked about how there's a lot to get used to, and so you might be able to relate to that as well. And maybe your parents, or maybe you're young and you're going through this, but just remember, we are our ancestors. Our beliefs, our energy, our imprints are in our genetics, the unseen part of our genetics. Science hasn't figured it out. Dr. Bruce Lipton has. He came about 15 years ago, I believe his book came out. So the thing is that there's just a lot. There's just a lot you want to go through. So that's what we did, and we talked about it. Share with us if these are some of the topics you want to talk about. The purpose is what can we do to clear the energy, of these beliefs? How do we change them? How do we change our thoughts, the trauma that we've had and the trauma of our ancestors? Not that we need to change them. It's in our genetics. It is. So that is something I would like to talk about. And we don't have to go into stories, if we don't want to. And then about how to quiet our mind. I think quieting our mind is the key to living in the now. What do you think, Kathy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was probably in the 90s. I had a day off. I remember I was cleaning in the kitchen and I had the TV on, and Eckhart Tolle was doing his workshops of the power of now. And I really listened to that. So 95 times, 30 years ago, over these 30 years, I've tried to, whenever I feel stressed or a lot of things going on in my mind, or I'm imagining what might happen in the future, I pull myself back to now. I haven't perfected that, but it is much better. And usually when you say, okay, right now, what's going on? Well, right now, everything's okay. The family's fine. They're healthy. And in fact, these last 6 years now of the things going on in the world, I've realized now that most of that was mind games, creating
Yes.
fear in our minds. When in actuality, at least for my life, I've been fortunate. Nothing really horrible has happened, even though at times you might feel like it, especially if you watch the news and you listen to what's going on all around the world, which we can do now. We couldn't do that when we grew up, which I think that was good.
Probably so. But when we were kids, we grew up also in the generation of Woodstock. We were not
Yeah,
quite ready for Woodstock, but that was our generation.
right.
Can
Peace
you
and
re
love.
can you remember going to school and that we still had to wear dresses?
Sure, absolutely.
And I remember being a part of the group in ninth grade, sitting with, I can't remember the guy's name now. I can kind of still see him.
Yeah.
And we were like ready to strike in school. This was in this, this was 69. And we wanted to wear pants. And we did make a difference, and then we could wear pants. So
Right.
yeah, so things have changed a lot. And that generation really began this ripple effect of change.
It
Think about
did.
it.
And, another thing that I've thought about how strange it was that almost everybody's mother in my generation was home. They didn't have a career. They took care of the house. They took care of dad. He worked, he came home, he relaxed, she did all the housework. But our generation, for some reason, I just automatically felt like I needed to go to college and go to work. And most of us did. I wonder what, I don't really know what caused that at that time.
Well, it was different, but I think it was growing up in the 60s and the 70s. And I think we were done with World War II. You and I were not even alive. And so it was part of, the factories and everything lighting up. We were just told we have to get an education to get a better job. That's what we were told.
But women didn't even work then. I mean, I don't know why I thought I needed
I
to
did.
work. And
I
the
did.
bad thing about that, which is kind of an aside, but then our generation also worked a job and did all the housework and took care of the kids, which I saw as over the years, the younger generation after me, they made their husbands share. The husbands shared, they're both working, so they cook dinner too. In fact, more men seem to be cooks now than women. I missed that. I hate that I missed that. I was not the wrong generation.
Yeah, we can obviously still change. And we're going to talk about that today as well. Stay tuned. I know we're going to get to inner peace and we're going to do a meditation. And so, Kathy, I do want to just change the subject for 1 second. So, the
Okay.
way I want to do it today is when I'm ready to do the meditation, I want to stop the recording and then start a new recording for the meditation. And that way, I can offer the meditation and people can do
Separately.
anytime they want and not have to sit and listen to the whole thing of, that would be
Yeah, if they're
really,
bored with us, they can just go
yeah.
to the meditation.
Yeah, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, we have so many things we can talk about that we will continue with now, how to stay in the now. And that, I'm telling you, that is the biggest thing. Kathy and I were talking about time is man-made. It is earth. It is how we, in a duality world, how we function. And what makes us stuck on time is we get a thought, we get a belief, and we go back to it all the time and we relive the story of when Aunt Ruth or grandma's son, I mean, whatever, said something or did something, or how a teacher treated us at school, or how we were bullied, how we were beaten up. As a woman growing up, there is something with our generation and even my kids younger when they were growing up in the 80s, that there's still stuff with guys over women, thinking that they can control them. And especially on a sexual basis, there are things and all that, and so we lived through that all the time, as well. But so these are the things, and so we go back and we remember it and we relive it. We put the time on it, and it happened. It's over with. But we can't, as a human being, we don't know how to get rid of it. We think we've been dealt these cards and we can't change, and we can. We absolutely can. And so there are many ways to get to now. And I understand what you were talking about, your experience in reading now, the book didn't he write a book?
I think he did write a book. I listened to him when he was doing that workshop.
Yeah, right. And then because my youngest son is a Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh organization. He's in California. And I've learned more about mindfulness, and that's what they practice. They live in the now. They walk and they look, and it is a completely different energy at the monastery,
That's
walking
it.
in the mountains, plants and trees, and you're just in awe. And that's
Yeah.
what we have here around us. But they're always at such a high vibration.
Yeah.
And so what it's because they get to they have skills. These guys have skills to be able to quiet the mind when something comes up, how to let it go. Now, you read Thich Nhat Hanh books and you're going to learn all about mindfulness, and he has his way of doing it. Spiritual Academy, that is what I'm offering, is through 30 years of my life of learning, of wisdom, and being trained. And I call the angels, I talk to the archangels a lot, and Creator God, and it's kind of a, not a joke, but they're my coach. And here I'm a coach by training, but they are my coach. They've now become my coach. And the point is, we can have it all. And there is no time. The energy that the angels work in, the energy that God is fluid. There is no time. So if we say a million years, that means nothing, because to them, I mean, they can relate to us, and the archangels are here to help us to awaken even more. They're with us. You just got to ask. They come to us at birth. I mean, they are with us. If that is our sole purpose, they're with us. Okay. And so you just ask, but that it is there. So a million years is nothing, really. There was a communication with God, and God is talking, and it's about, I know, da da da, and it seems like a million years, and it hasn't been, but but things are changing, and this is happening, and we can stay in that energy by living in now. Quiet our minds, be where we are. If you start wanting to visit what Aunt Sally, what your best friend did, what the boy did that knocked you down, what your ex-partner did, what your bank statement says, then you're upset, or what people say, then it puts you in a time. You are creating time. God's not. God's not time. We are time. We create that, right? Kathy, does that make sense?
Well, Judy, yeah, I understand the words. Actually, though, it still befuddles me, like that there is no past, present, or future. It's all the same time. Well, I don't know. One day it'll sink in, I guess.
I can say that light workers will talk about a new timeline. Time is here we are, but that is true. We are on a new line of our reality. It has to do with our reality of what we are creating. By the way, I do want to mention people that are not on their path, if they're not awake yet, they're probably not listening to us. But the thing is, we're going to know people that aren't, they're just not where what we're thinking. And we're not better, we're not worse. It has nothing to do with that. It's just where we are and what we choose spiritually, what we want to experience. And so their angels are with all sentient beings. There's always angels with all of us. So I want everyone to know that we can call on. I have on my team, I have Angel Tess, and she is not an archangel, and she is kind of quiet, and she helps a lot of people. And I have done a talk with her before. It's really beautiful. Okay, let's get back to now. So what stops us is mind chatter. What do you think about that? Mind chatter. You know what I'm talking about?
You're talking to me now?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm looking
I
at
hate to
you.
interrupt.
Mind chatter.
I was thinking while you talked about something that I did, and I thought that can't help. I guess I'd seen people do it on television, maybe. There were so many things like my ex had done that was just, the resentment. And I prayed and prayed to get rid of that resentment. But one day I did sit down and I wrote all those things down that were running through my head. And the act of writing them down on paper made such a difference. Once I wrote them down, and I threw it away, but you probably should burn it. It would feel better. Just burn it after you've written it down. It actually does help. It's amazing. Just get it out of your head and then don't let it come back in there anymore.
Yes, and that is easier said than done. In Real Healing Methods, I do teach a technique of how to gauge if any of that is still being held on to in our body. And just so you know, you have the belief, You had the incident, you have the patterns now that it created from that incident and the imprints. Okay. So, but hey, maybe you were able to just get rid of all of it. Don't know. I don't know.
Finally, I felt like I did, but it took years. It wasn't overnight, that's for sure.
So see, so okay, and love changes a lot. And you've been in this most beautiful, wonderful relationship for uh,
Yeah.
10 years,
Oh,
12, 13 years.
12, about 12. Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? So love does, love can move a mountain.
It can. Yeah.
It can. It really can. So what's going on in the world is that from the beginning of human beings, we are sentient beings. That energy of anything that had to do with powerless, control, manipulation, guilt, shame. Those are the lower energies that we all adopted, that we all had at one point or still do. And it goes deep. It isn't like they're showing me right now. The guides are like a vein. It's like a vein of energy that is running in us and is coming from our genetics, but it plays out in the subconscious. Okay. And that's the big thing with awakening. If you really want to understand, it has nothing to do with 5D, forget that. It has to do with your soul. It has to do with who you are and discover and open and allow that abundance of love, of purity to come from your heart. And it's something that the blocks have been those things I just mentioned. And those things have been uplifted in humanity. Now, it's still being uplifted in other areas of the world, and things are still happening, and we're still experiencing things ourselves, but it gives us an opportunity. And as the Creator God says, and how the archangels say, the time is now. You have more opportunity than ever to create the life of your dream, to manifest so much faster. And this energy of heaviness has been uplifted and will continue to be uplifted. And what happens? It's happened about 120, we went back to about 120,000 years ago to get to the source, to lift this up. And I think it was at least 100, but 125, we'll say 123,000 years ago, to uplift it. And it is writing. We're part of the lineage. We're part of the lineage of the sentient beings of that long ago. Why would we not be? The original sentient beings, we are a part of this. And the DNA is changing, and this stuff is shifting. The energy, the traumas, and the beliefs. I've got it written down right here. The energy body matrix, the libraries in our energy field, in our aura, it's all changing and shifting. And when that lets go, and you let it go, and you're going to understand it. It's happening anyway. You're looking for a feeling of lightness. You're looking for, look at you, Kathy. Your mind is starting to quiet. You're finding peace and joy. You may not be perfect to get back to it. I know I'm not, but we have the tools. And when we stay at that higher energy, magic happens of this incredible love. And magic happens in fluid energy, not in time. Remember, time is stuck in our mind. It is stuck. We are stuck. We're on the sidelines of life. We're not in the relationship maybe we want. We don't have the money that we want. We don't have the friends that we want. We don't have the experiences because we're going to wait. We're going to wait till life changes. We're going to wait. And the thing is, waiting never happens. Nothing ever happens. It's a balance of spending money. It's a balance of saving. It's a balance. It's all about a balance. But we have the ability to do all of this. And this is the time now that God talks about it. The angels to let it go and to go and acknowledge the fluid energy. Go read Thich Nhat Hanh books. Maybe you're a Buddhist monk. I studied Sanguru. So it's a different meditation practice. That's what really helped me quiet my mind. Only when I could meditate. In the beginning, I had to listen to music to quiet my mind. It's okay. Practice, practice, practice. It will get easier. So go in the heart. If everybody could just spend a few minutes in the heart and get into the gratitude, starting your day, just closing your eyes and starting your day with all the things you're grateful for and see your life beautiful and wonderful. And that's what you're going to create. We are creating energy. One of the master teachers, and they all have said this with the angels, that we can create until we take our last breath. And it's our body that wears out and goes, but our soul is pure creative energy of the creator. God, use it, recognize it, be it. Your mind is quiet.
It is. It's really a unique feeling to just be absolutely at peace. But I am.
I do want to just also remind to the listeners or viewers that there was an episode with Kathy when she talked about one of her friends from high school had junior high and high school had passed, and he came to her and he had a robe, and she put her arms around the robe and could tap. She was in seventh dimension energy and could experience it. So when you have an experience like that, it's easier to go back to it, isn't it?
It is,
Got
but
the
I can't
memory.
feel that again. It was such an incredible, just comfort kept coming to my mind. Comfort, incredibly peaceful and just comfort. But I can't, I want so badly to feel that again. I can't feel it.
Well, you are on your path to not to living as a non-dual being. And I talk about that. And I would like to go ahead and just spend a little bit of time. I want to make sure everybody knows to quiet the mind. I'm going to spend another minute on that. And I'll tell you what we'll do in the meditation. I'll walk people into with Archangel Michael and Joshua, or Mother Mary, whoever will walk in to that higher energy and see if you could bring any listeners can bring viewers that energy and practice it. And you can listen to the meditation all the time. Okay. And we'll do that in just a few minutes. So I this morning, I was thinking, what are we going to talk about? And I really like this energy matrix that we all have and the aura. And I want to share a little bit there because I've had some major chefs recently. They were there and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got the tools to clear all this. And then I finally feel I tapped into something that was very important. And I can share that for anyone to see if they can relate to it. But it's just like we go to do something. We walk, we get a cup of coffee, or we go upstairs, or we're going to go do something. Pay attention, or you walk down the hallway, or you're in the kitchen at the stove or the sink. What is going through your mind? And is there any topic that repeats itself that you've already had the conversation? That's a pattern and an imprint. It imprints. It imprints every thought, every emotion. When there's an emotion, it imprints. It imprints. When there's an emotion, it just continually to imprint. So that's where we are to release all that. So then you clear, that's the thing. We clear these core beliefs but that core belief unravels and more at a different angle, at every little angle possible, things come up. Then you still have all this other stuff. And we all have core issues that we come into to heal. And that's the magic of life, right? I mean, that to me is to be free of all that and to really live who we are, master ourselves, living our soul energy, isn't it? So I can't help myself. I like to talk, but I like to teach. I like to teach, not just talk. So I was coming up the stairs and that's where my mind was. My mind was completely going to things I thought of. And I thought, does anybody else, if I carry a cup of coffee upstairs, I think I'm going to spill it. But I don't. What am I holding on to? Usually it's guilt and shame. It's going to boil down something about ourselves of guilt and shame because those are the core issues of our ancestors. Guilt and shame. And that's what we have also is guilt and shame. And that when I cleared something that I kept going after every little thing, and I use my tools that I teach. And I thought, my God, this is like me, how I perceive me, how I think others are judging me. There's something wrong with me. So someone can relate to that, reach out. And, with Real Healing Methods Academy, that is something people can go in and do sessions and they can literally clear it. I wanted to make sure that people understood that. Kathy, did that make sense to you? What I said about our imprints, our mind, we go to do something, we end up going to a topic that may be just stuff. It's not even necessarily important stuff, but we think it.
When you say imprints, are you saying something that sort of takes up a permanent space in there?
That's perfect. It feels like a tattoo stamp.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we're covered with
Yeah.
tattoo stamp.
Yeah.
Can
Our
anyone get
brain
that
has all these tattoos.
visual? Yeah, that is true. That is exactly what is happening, is the imprints that are on, and that's what we think, and we carry it around, and we carry it in our body, and physically we feel it, and we have these imbalances and things happen to us and we suffer. And what we really want is love and kindness and all good stuff. That's really what we're here, is to have that life. And whatever your life has been dealt, whatever you experience, you can really have it all. You can have that deep love. It's already in you. It's already there. And as you heal, it gets lifted off and then you go deeper. And the more you can quiet your mind. And as I said, the magic is in fluid quote time. It means there is no time. It's just fluid. And we have things that happen to us, and that is the true magic. It's all of it. It's just, we have this life of bliss. So with that, is there anything else you would like to share? And we're going to stop today's episode. I'm going to record the meditation, and it will be a second one available, and we're going to step into non-duality as much as you can imagine. And that means we're going to a higher energy. We are 6-dimensional beings. We're going up the ladder. Some will feel 7th D, this piece. If you stay in 6D, who you are right now, where you are, it's okay. Because we have an opportunity where we are in 6th dimension, where we are the listeners of the show. You are already this, okay? Because you're attracted to this. This is your energy. So you have an opportunity to expand more your consciousness. And that's what we're here, is to master our consciousness. And with that, non-duality means we're living in peace, in joy. We know we're illuminating. We know we are neutral, meaning our mind is quiet and we're not judging. We're not judging ourselves, or we're not judging others. That is a big thing, to be able to step back when people are talking about things that are going to bring on a judgment of what you think. This is one of those things you go within and ask yourself, is this my issue? What is it? Why am I stuck on this? Why do I want to talk about this all the time? So you clear it, right? And then your mind begins to quiet more. And it's about, no judgment and joy and love and everything. Colors become more alive. I'm going to take us into this meditation. I hope you all want to hear this. It's part 2. This is part 1, quiet the mind, and part 2 is the meditation. So with that, namaste and God bless you. And we will see you, or you'll hear from us very soon. You can go to my website at realhealingmethods.com, and I am sharing links that you can go check out and make sure that you have an opportunity. Thank you.